So we're going to be doing a meditation for everybody joining. We're going to be doing a meditation at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is in 1 hour from now. Okay, so from 1 hour from now, I'm going to do a guided meditation that will be uploaded on my YouTube page. So what's happening today is I'm going to address the whole Teal Swan thing. The fact that I was in her documentary. A lot of people ask me, they're like, did you get paid for that or anything? And no, Teal Swan didn't even get paid for this documentary. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. I don't know what happened, but a bunch of people were filming her and then they portrayed her a certain way. Hi, Indigo. So you felt like, okay, so by the way, wait, what even is it? What do you mean? Oh, you saw. Thank you, Patty. So yeah, so some people saw. So a lot of people were writing to me, oh my God, I saw you in the documentary. I saw your video in it, and they took it. So it's Teal Swan, Teal, like the color teal. So Teal Swan is a pretty well-known coach, life coach, transformation coach, whatever. So episode 1 is the only one. Andy, the episode 1 is the only one that came out, and every week I think a new episode is coming out. And yeah. So I made a video about it. And what I talked about was I had a dream. Okay, so I'm going to just give it a little summary because I talked about it on last live. How do you feel? It seemed like it crossed a boundary. Yeah, no, okay, let me explain. So I'm actually with a client. Hi, Becky, how's it going? So I'm with a client and I'm getting a lot of messages on my phone. And my boyfriend comes to see me and he's like, what's going on? Like you see your messages, like people. So people were writing to me because they saw the documentary and they were like freaking out. I have never met Teal Swan. I've never met her. But I was one of those people that when I was going through hard times like 10, 15 years ago, I was going on YouTube and I saw her videos. So I guess the people making the documentary saw my video because I quote her and whatever, and they put my video in her documentary. The crazy part is that the night before is I had a dream about her. I don't dream about Teal Swan. Teal Swan is not someone I think about. Like I'll mention her, and what I clearly say is that people have a tendency, and I really wanted to talk about this on this live, people have a tendency to put people on pedestals. Okay, they put, like, you look up to someone. When you say, hey, hi, Lily. So when you say, I look up to someone, what's happening is that either you can look down on someone else, or it means like you feel like you're lesser. When you look up to someone, you feel like you're less. And this is the one thing that bothers me with the humankind is that we all piss and shit. I'm sorry to say trigger, but you take a gun, our physical bodies can all pass. None of us live forever. Like we are all human. There's nobody above and below. And when you guys know, a lot of people know, when you see celebrities, you think, oh my God, they're so special. They're different than us. No, they're not. They're humans. Just like everybody else. They happen to be in movies. Same with celebrities. Exactly. Alicia was just saying exactly. Right? Random question. Do you have any podcast programs you like? I don't even listen to podcasts. I'm one of the only people in my life that doesn't listen, that I know that listen to podcasts. Hey, Tim, how's it going? Yeah, so we're all equal, right? This is what I believe. We're all equal. Now, when I saw, hey, Kelsa, I love you guys. Everybody's joining in. I'm so happy to see all of you guys. Thank you guys for joining, everybody. Happy Monday. Is it good to say that? Happy Monday? Yeah, so I've always liked Teal Swan. I've always liked her. I didn't look up to her. I didn't put her on a pedestal. Just like I don't put anybody else on a pedestal. I really like, you guys know that I like Joe Dispenza, right? I watch I listen to his meditations that have changed my life. Teal Swan's videos changed. Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra. I love Marianne Williamson, Debbie Ford, Louise Hay. Like, there's so many people that I could name that their work has impacted me. That's the word that I use. They impacted me. Like, it's just like, wow, I really appreciate them on this earth, but I don't put them on a pedestal. Is because we learn to have respect for teachers. So yeah. So Marlene, some of us have respect and we get impacted by others, right? But when we start looking up to people and comparing ourselves, is that you're literally saying you're not good enough. You're not as good as them. Like, think about it that way. You're like, oh, I admire, I look up, I put them on a pedestal. It's like you're putting somebody higher than you. And that means that there is a part of you that doesn't think that you're on that same level. I do that with everyone. Well, there's a big part of you, Sin, that you need to go and like dig deep, because everybody has the ability to do a whole bunch of stuff. And it's like, whatever you want to do, you can have the success you want. You can have the health you want. You can have, the spirituality you want, the abilities, I'm not going to go too deep into whatever you want, but there's a possibility to get that. And the difference that makes people that are really successful in health, financial, spiritual success, and those who don't, is because these people believe it. That is the only difference. So if you look up to these people, all they did, different than you, is believe they could. That is it. So Noi, I'm going to answer some questions that you guys have for like mental health, spirituality, stuff like that. I'm just going to address a little bit like the whole Teal Swan situation first. I used to do that until I did inner child healing. Now she's good job. Angel Star, good job. That was condescending. Good job. No, I meant to say like amazing. Thank you. Yeah, so I am going to answer, thank you guys. I am going to answer your guys' questions and your stuff like that. I'm just going to do a quick talk first about the Teal Swan thing. So the documentary that I happened to be in, okay, was what I found. They did portray Teal Swan as very like narcissistic. When she said, I am the Pope, I'm like, I could be bigger than the Pope. This was my reaction, okay? So I'll show you guys. Hi, Kale Snail. So I'm sitting. Hold on. So Kale Snail, anybody who's just joining, I'm just letting you know I'm addressing a situation first before I'm answering any questions. All right, guys? So I'm watching the documentary like this. And at first I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. This is weird. And they portrayed her really like a spiritual guru that is better than everyone and all that. So I was like, yeah. So at first, I know I felt bad. I felt bad today. So I still maintain my perception that I was telling you guys that she wasn't owning her stuff, her shit. That's the video I made. But I'll tell you guys, so I'm watching this documentary. And then when I started hearing a lady say, she's like the female Jesus, or she's like Jesus to me, I was like, oh God, hold on. Now, Jesus, if you are religious or religious people see Jesus as like we're here, and Jesus is like, do you know what I mean? So to say that you believe like she's like Jesus, you're putting Teal Swan on a whole other pedestal. And then at the end of the documentary, this is my reaction. I'm sitting there, and I usually sit with like, so for those who, I'll talk about that later, I put my hand on my mouth a lot, stuff like that. And I was analyzing this, and I'm like, And Teal Swan says, I'm like, I could be higher and better than the Pope. And she kind of goes like, and I was like, no, Teal Swan. Like, and I really, really like Teal Swan. So I was like, oh no. And I didn't say, oh no, as if like I wasn't judging her. It wasn't a judgment. Oh no. It was like, ah, shit, the fame got to you. That's what I was thinking. My first thought was like, oh shit, people are calling you Jesus. So you're now believing you're Jesus. The savior complex, right? As a savior, yes, most people, but I know I'm just... No, that's okay. That's okay, Sen. We already have many people thinking like this. We do. So, yeah. So Teal Swan, this is, I'm going to give you guys my perception. I'm going to tell you guys about what I'm projecting, because we cannot see in another what we do not possess. We can't, right? So when I saw this, I was like, oh, damn, man, Teal, like, come on. And then she popped up today, and she made a video today, this morning or last night or something. She made a video. It could have been yesterday. Anyway, she made a video explaining the documentary. Okay. So I came out with a video the day that after the documentary came out. I came out with a video. The only reason I address this, guys, because if you guys know, I don't usually address, like, for example, the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. You have not heard me address any of that in my videos because it doesn't concern me. It doesn't, but this concerns me because my video is in the documentary. I am now affiliated with this, mishmashed into it. So I was like, oh my God, I'm involved. Now I'm involved with this whole thing. So I felt like I had the right to have a say. Hi, Mischievous. How are you? Right? So at first, I watched the documentary and I really liked it. I actually liked it, but they put like this creepy music, and I was talking with Wilo actually, and Wilo and we were like, why they make like such creepy music? Like they made it like very scary type thing. And I went, you know what? This is not, I don't think this is right. I'm so scared that I'm in it. What if it's this whole culty thing? No, not at all. So Teal Swan is portrayed pretty good. She's showing that she's helping people and everything. But throughout the video, she is portrayed very like complex. What is it? The savior. What are they called? The savior complex or something like that. She's portrayed a bit as a narcissist. She's portrayed as like she doesn't give a shit about people, passive aggressive, whatever. That's how the documentary portrays her. Now, the documentary, I don't know where you can find it right now exactly because there's different links, but it's called, yeah, she was also portrayed as a cult leader. Like people are like, oh, she's a cult leader. And people were saying that she promotes suicide. That this is what she promotes. So I'm sitting watching this documentary. I watched it on YouTube. Okay, so it's available on. I'm watching this documentary and I was like, oh my gosh. So I said, I asked it's called The Deep End. The documentary is called The Deep End. So I asked my boyfriend, I'm like, listen, you need to watch this with me. I know this is not your thing, but I'm in it. My video is in this documentary. So I need you to watch this. I want you to, because you're not into this stuff, I want your perception of whatever. Because I have my perception. Now, consider the fact that the night before I had a dream. Okay, so my dream was exactly that I walked in to Teal Swan's event. It was the first time I was in her event. And she was doing all this good stuff and everything. And then at the end of the event, I had like a VIP pass or something. And I went in the back, and I don't remember super clear, but I remember them being curtains and stuff like that. And I went in the back and I met her, and she was really friendly with me. And I was like, I just want to say that, like, thank you. Because, you know, when I was young, I didn't have anybody to talk to, and your videos were talking directly to me. And I felt that you were giving like free advice on not just like mental health, but spirituality. And it really helped me. And it helped me become the person I am today. So I appreciate you. Not putting on a pedestal, just saying like, I respect you and I appreciate your existence on earth. She was really nice to me. This is a dream. This is a dream, okay? She was really nice to me and everything. And all of a sudden, a crew of people turned around and they were walking, and she told somebody to shut up in my dream. And I was like, so I kind of like stood back and I was listening, and I hear her getting mad and angry at the people in the back behind the curtain. Like she was getting really frustrated. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, this is disappointing. This is disappointing. And then I hear her walk. So anyways, we went to get drinks and stuff like that in my dream. And then later on, we kind of meet up, and I was like, I looked at her and I was like, hey, and I pulled a Teal Swan, Teal Swan calls out people's shadows right away. Teal Swan, you can see in the documentary, she can twist around and make you self-reflect, right? So, okay, I'm not even going to address that. That doesn't affect me whatsoever. I actually take that as a compliment, even if you didn't mean it as one. I appreciate that because it is a compliment to me. Because in my dream, I see her and she was like, she started getting really mean, right? She started getting like, and I said, well, how come you're not calling out your own shit? Like, how come you're not calling yourself out? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're so good at calling people out. I don't get why you don't recognize your own shadow. You're obviously triggered, and it's okay to be triggered, right? It's okay to get triggered. We all get triggered. The key is to not take it out on the people that we love, the people that are closest to us. So in my dream, I started getting upset with her, and I was like, how come you're not, so that was kind of like what I was saying. I was like, hey, it's not okay. You can't start yelling at people. Like, and I said in my dream, you deserve the healing that you're giving everyone else for yourself. So this was my dream. Now I couldn't say that in 1 minute, in 2 minutes, because I posted it about it. So I couldn't say that whole thing, but I was saying that I'm like, you deserve that. But I was getting kind of frustrated in my dream. The next day, somebody writes to me on my thing, and I got about 10, 15 messages of people who are like, oh my God, I saw you on the Teal Swan documentary. Can I tell you? I was like, I have had coincidence, or I call them synchronicities in my life, but this was like the next day. I just had a dream about her, right? So the next day I was like, holy shit, this is insane. This is crazy. So I was like, I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, oh my God, I'm in a documentary with Teal Swan. I just dreamt about her. That's crazy. So I watched the documentary. And like I said, the same vibe I got. Now, I've never met Teal Swan one-on-one. I did in my dream, but that was it. But I've never dreamt of her before this. And I never put her, like I said, on a pedestal. I never did anything like this. But in my dream, I remember thinking like, well, I guess she's just human. She's like all of us, right? But in the documentary, they make people say like she was putting herself like she wasn't human. She says, I'm different than everybody else. And I could be higher than the Pope. And people were calling her Jesus. So my perception watching this documentary was, oh shit. She is human, but she doesn't think she is. So I thought that she was putting herself on a pedestal. So I was like, oh, well, that's off. That sucks. But I didn't see it as bad. Like a lot of people were like, oh my God, she's evil. I have to tell you, I don't understand that. Can I tell you, I am watching Teal Swan. I have watched Teal Swan for over 10 years on her videos. I have never caught evil from her. Never. Full of people are saying, oh, I see the evil in Teal Swan. I'm like, I can't. Do you know what I see in her eyes? I see pain. I see that she lived in hell. She survived hell. And she's here talking about it. Like, Listen. And the reason I might see that is because I am self-projecting on Teal Swan. So a lot of people do not know my past. I was abused physically, verbally. I almost died. I was born with a terminal blood disease that attacks the kidney. I couldn't go 1 week without being physically sick. I'm not going to say the words, it triggers people. Physically sick. I would get migraine headaches. And I'm like 16 years old, guys. Like 14, 15, 16 years old. And I have no function in my body. My blood, there's something called focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. My blood was poisoning my body and my kidneys, attacking my kidneys. And they're telling me, you can't have kids. You can't, who knows how long you're going to live. And I was literally, and then because I had an alcoholic drug father who was like verbally abusive, I thought that was love. So I attracted a whole bunch of shit of like men that physically and verbally abused me, and other ways that I don't even say because that triggers. I've lived hell. So when I see Teal Swan, I recognize in her eyes that she is a human being living a human experience. She's a spiritual being, just like every single one of you. Now, after I say all this, do you know that just because I lived a lot of trauma, it doesn't make me better than anybody else? And this is one thing I have to tell you, I do have pet peeves. You're going to find out today in my lives. I'll tell you a couple of my triggers and my pet peeves. People who think that they're above others. And I got a bunch of people that stitched my video, and they were telling me, sorry, I'm on a rant now. They were telling me and I feel bad for people that do. They're like, one girl, I blocked her. She was like, I'm a Reiki practitioner. That's how she was talking. I'm a Reiki practitioner and I'm 44 years old. So I think I would know. Which, I'm going to be honest, that's a compliment to me because I'm 40. So she thinks I'm a lot younger. She's like, I'm 44. I know. I'm like, dude, you're 40. You're 4 years older than me. Okay. And she was like, so I would know. And what you're doing is you're projecting blah, 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 blah. And I have been spiritual since I'm 14 years old. I found Reiki. First of all, you cannot study Reiki when you're 14. My daughter did Reiki when she was 8, but you cannot get certified until you're of legal age. I am a Reiki master. I don't walk around telling, I'm a Reiki master. I don't do that to people. Because who gives a fuck if I'm a Reiki master or not? Right? It's like, exactly. It was a lot of ego. And I was going like, I'm watching a lot of people stitched my video, and I'm watching all these videos of people telling me that they are more spiritual than me. They're telling me that Teal Swan is more spiritual than me, that they are more spiritual than me. And I didn't reply to any of them because I'm like, does that make you feel better? Does that make you feel better? Believing that you are more spiritual. Like, I don't get it. I was like, who cares? And this is why I will continue doing my videos. Who made them the spiritual police? I agree. And it's funny because everybody has the ability to tap in to certain things. Everybody has the ability to do all this. Yeah, and why is that? No, so I'm just going to give an example. My boyfriend, not really spiritual. He was born and raised in the Hindu culture, and his family, his mom, his dad, they meditated. They talked about everything, all the chakras, all the things, like they taught him everything. He doesn't practice anything, but can I tell you, he's an amazing fucking human being. He's an amazing human being. So I don't care if he's spiritual or not. You're an amazing human being. And that to me defines to me of who, if you are kindness, you're showing love, if you're helping people, you're a little giving, you know, some people are, whatever. As long as you're doing your best to be like kindness to me is so nice. So going back to what I was saying, when I see Teal Swan's documentary, I maintain, so I said on the documentary that Teal Swan doesn't really own her shit. Like there's a little part of her shadow and or her triggers, and I'll explain to you all that she doesn't own it. Now, when she came out yesterday or today, this morning, with a video explaining, okay? Yeah, I'll tell him, Kelsa. So she came out with a video explaining today all the documentary. So if you guys didn't see it, I highly suggest you go see it. Do you know what she said in the documentary? And I'm going to kind of not quote her, but she said, thank you, Andy. So she said that she made a joke. When she said that she can be better than the Pope, it was a joke. She said apparently somebody asked her something, and she made it like, she goes, my sense of humor wasn't so great. Like, I guess I have to like reevaluate how I talk, because she goes, I came off really narcissistic, like sense of superiority. And she's like, if for those who know me, they know that that's not true. So I have to tell you, I like that. When I watch that, I think that media, we know that the media can portray, like right now, you guys know. And I thought of a few of you. I was thinking of like Wilo, Cece, Tim, like all of you guys that come in, Mark, you know, Kelsa, like all of you guys that kind of come in and know me, Mischievous, that you guys kind of like get into this. You hear how I talk. You guys watch me kind of consistently here and there. The ones who are on this live that don't even write. There's some people on this live that are coming on my live that don't write to me and they just listen. You guys know me, right? You know like how I talk, my mannerisms. So if a documentary came out and all of a sudden I was portrayed as a cult leader and as like a narcissistic cult leader, a lot of you guys would be like, Tanya? What? Right? But there's only like 72 people on the live. What about the other thousands of people that have no idea, right? So I get what Teal Swan is coming from. The people who know her know that she's not like that. But for the rest of us, we're like, ooh, we didn't know. We just watched a documentary that's like, I could be better than the Pope. And we're like, oh, you know, right? I appreciate that. User 582, yes. I didn't know you were on. So the only thing that I still maintain though, in my video, I said that Teal Swan doesn't own her triggers or her shadow. And it's still something that I see, because even in her video explaining the documentary and saying like, you know, they portrayed me bad, at the end of the documentary, she says, now, for those of you, you won't understand, for those of you who didn't see the documentary, but there's this time in the documentary where her best guy friend, who used to be her boyfriend, she doesn't allow his new girlfriend to come. She doesn't want, like, she's kind of like really angry about it. She's like, how dare you? I think you're irresponsible and this and that to let them in. Like, we have to protect our friends and our bubble and everything. And in her video explaining the documentary and like explaining herself, she literally says that she maintains her position, and it's just because she's a public figure and she has to protect herself. And I realized that I see, and it makes me like want to hug her in a way. I know it sounds funny, is that because I see people's shadow, I don't call out people's shadow and see them and talk to them and whatever and be like, ugh, their shadow. I don't see it like that. I see your shadow as a place where you need love. For those who don't know what the shadow self is, triggers live in our shadow. But for those of you who don't know, is that we have a dark and a light side. We're born with it. We are born with dark and light. You don't heal your shadow. You love your shadow. When you're a kid, okay, you don't think that your shadow side is bad. If you're too loud, too sensitive, you know, a little more aggressive, like I just saw my nephew, when he loves someone, he's like he hugs you and he's hugging me and he's grabbing like my cheeks and he's like he's and he's a baby. So it's like, okay, that's what he has. But when he gets older, that can become in a shadow. So what happens is that that's not bad when you're a baby. But as you get older, people are like, whoa, you're clingy. It's somebody that's just an affectionate. Oh, no, you're clingy. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't want to be clingy anymore and he's going to suppress. So my shadow, for example, is, oh, you talk too much. You talk too much. You talk too much. I used to take it. And then I stopped talking to everybody. I stopped talking. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't express myself. I didn't do anything because people said that I talked too much. And I hated that about me. So I pushed it down into my shadow. Shadow is a place where we need to take all that shit that we think is bad of ourselves and we need to learn to love it. And when I see Teal Swan and when I see her talking about, I need to protect myself because we're a very close, I'm a public figure and I need to protect myself. And this is, I looked at her and I could recognize her shadow. And I was like, oh my God, I think that her being so famous, she doesn't know who to trust. So, and when she was young, obviously she trusted the wrong people. She got abused and everything, right? So imagine as she's older, and she got famous pretty young, guys. She was like in her 20s when she was already making like videos. So she got like a following pretty fast. And how are you supposed to tell as a public figure who you can trust and who you can't? But in a way, I realize is that anyway, I'm not going to go too much into what I feel about shadows, but I didn't see, when I say people don't own their shit. Now, I'm going to address something else. A lot of people say, well, it's easy to recognize everyone else's shadow and not your own. That is a lie. That's a lie. Complete lie. So that's not true. If you can recognize everybody's shadow and not your own, you can't recognize your own. You don't recognize your own. If you can recognize everybody else's and not your own, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Because as within, so without. What you feel on the inside always comes out on the outside. So a lot of people says, oh, I can see everybody's shadow and I can't see my own. No, you are a judgy McJudgerson. You're judging people. You're not seeing their shadow. You're judging them. Okay, so I want to make that very clear. If you think you can see everybody else's shadow and not your own, you're like, no, I can't really see my own, but I can see everybody else's. You are a judgy McJudgerson. I am clearly going to repeat that over this live. If you catch other people's shadow, it's because you can see your own. And recognizing your own shadow you do have to do a lot of work. And the reason I see my shadow constantly, because I know that 24/7, except when I'm sleeping, but even when I'm sleeping in my dreams, I am projecting. I know, and a lot of people get mad at me and they don't get it. Everything I see in another, I have. Everything. Everything. Everything that I recognize in people is a part of me. Otherwise, I couldn't see it. It's coming from my brain. If I look at someone and recognize it, it came from my brain. A part of me has it. A part of me feels that way about me. Okay? And I know that. Now, a lot of people don't understand it. I made so many videos on it. If you're not ready to understand it, that's okay. It may not be your reality, but my reality is because I own all my shit. If I judge people, it's because a part of me feels it about me. So let's talk about Teal Swan. I see that Teal Swan doesn't feel safe. It's very clear. She says it. She says the word, I don't feel safe. I can't trust anybody. Dude, that is a big part of my shadow. That's why I could see it in her. It's a huge part of my shadow because I could see it in her. I have a hard time trusting people, a very hard time, because in my life, I didn't know about boundaries. Now, the reason I don't trust people and the reason why Teal Swan doesn't trust people, that can be two separate things. But the reason I don't trust people has to do with me setting boundaries, blah, blah, blah. The reason why Teal Swan, she says it's because she was a public figure and she's been abused and she has all this stuff happen to her, right? So if you guys are recognizing other people, and by the way, this is something that I used to do. When I was young, I would call people's shadow out. I would say, like, people would say, I'm not like upset, or I'm not like this, or I'm not like, and I'm like, yeah, you are, da da da. And do you notice when Teal Swan calls people's shadow out, some people get really triggered? They get really triggered, like really upset. It's because nobody takes it properly. Nobody takes that well. Our shadow, think about it, okay? You have the light and the darkness. That's what we have, 50-50, right? It's not the same as energy. We have light and darkness. All our emotions, our thoughts, and ourselves, okay? We have a light side of ourselves that is happy, sad, happy, joyful, exciting, all the good stuff. And then we have a dark side, the yin yang, okay? The yin yang sign, we have the dark and the light. In the darkness, our shadow lives in the darkness. And what happens is there's a part of us that we don't like, okay? A part of us, it could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be your thoughts, it could be by success, it could be spiritually, it could be anything. Parts of you, like a whole list. You can write a list of all the things that you don't like about yourself. That I wish I was more spiritual. I wish I was more clairvoyant. I wish I was smarter. I wish I had more money. I wish I had a better voice. I wish I had better looks. I wish I had, okay, I'll tell you guys one of mine. I wish I had a higher metabolism. That is one that I used to say all the time to myself. That was a physical one, okay? Because I have a lot of emotion. My physical one was, I wish I had a higher metabolism. So if somebody comes and tells me, you kind of gained weight, they're calling out my shadow, because that's a part of me that I don't like. So the shadow has never to be healed. You don't heal your shadow. When people tell me that, oh, you heal. No, it is not a wound, like a cut that you're, oh no, I got to heal it. No. You need to heal what caused the shadow, what caused you to suppress all this stuff into the shadow. Okay? I'm on a high vibe. That's so funny because I wasn't on a high vibe. So do you guys get what I'm saying? I wish I was a little bit taller. Yeah, some people want to be taller. So you have physical things about you don't like, spiritual things, successful things, everything that you don't like, you put it in. But if you are judging someone else and you can recognize in people things, that's not because you can see people's shadow. That's because you didn't recognize it in you, and you are being a judgy McJudgerson, because everything you see in another, the other three fingers, you are more susceptible to feel it within yourself. So the Teal Swan documentary is the one that just came out that people told me, they're like, Tanya, you're in the documentary. You need to see this. I can't believe it. You're in it. I freaked out. I was like, okay, I'm going to go look at it. I looked at it. And the first thing I thought when I see that is the reason I could recognize it in Teal Swan, and the reason why I do what I do now, is that since I'm little, I can see people's shadow, but I have also, since I'm little, always been able to see it in myself. When I was little, I knew everything I didn't like about myself. And I just didn't know how to put love into it. I was like, what do I do? And I came out with a lot of stuff on my own. A lot of stuff from Teal Swan, a lot of stuff from Debbie Ford, Marianne Williamson, Deepak Chopra, because I read a lot of books about that, all about our shadow selves. And I found out about 15 years ago, how the hell am I going to love my shadow? It's not healing the shadow, it's love my shadow. There's a place, and I have to do it for me. I have to. So if you yourself have something, okay, if you yourself have something that you are seeing in other people and you're recognizing in other people, and remember, a lot of people tell me, if I see a narcissist, does that make me a narcissist? I want you to say, people are putting a label. Like, stop putting the big label. If you are ready to do the work, and I feel like a lot of you are now. If I would have said this 2 years ago, people were like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm going to really make it clear. If you think that you can see a narcissist and you look and you're like, that's a narcissist. I'm a narcissist. No. You don't see a zebra and say, I'm a zebra. Oh my God, I'm a lion. Like, it's not like that. You see a zebra, it doesn't make you a zebra. You see a narcissist, doesn't make it. I want you to dig deeper. When you see a zebra, what is it that you feel about the zebra? The zebra is running and you're like, oh, that zebra looks really happy. Look at that zebra go. Oh my God, it looks like it's so cute. It's hopping around. Then you look at the zebra and you're like, oh, I don't like zebra. Like, look at that zebra. It's kind of like floppy. The skin's not... Whatever you feel about the zebra is something you feel about you. Okay? And deep, you have to go. You can't just put zebra, that's it. So like a narcissist, okay? If you say, I see a narcissist, it doesn't make you a narcissist. What is it that you feel when you see a narcissist? What do you feel? Okay, so for example, I'll give you me. So I used to be in a relationship with a narcissist. And then if I go back into my thoughts about the narcissist, I see a narcissist as controlling. I used to control me. I would control me. Do you know how many times I tried to control my emotions? I tried to control my thoughts. I try to control my life. I control me. It's not about how you treat others. It's how you treat yourself. That's self-projection. Okay? So if you see somebody wrote disrespect, I see narcissists as disrespectful. Have you ever disrespected yourself? I know I have. I've disrespected myself plenty of times. I used to call myself a fucking idiot if I couldn't do something properly. Right? So a narcissist at the core, it doesn't matter what a narcissist at the core is manipulative. Have you ever manipulated yourself? Go deeper. And when I say go deeper, when it comes to self-projection, I always say go deeper. Now, I want to address the fact that people say, hold on, if I see an abuser, it doesn't make me an abuser. No. If somebody physically is abusing you, that has nothing to do with self-projection. Okay? I want you guys to, that is there's a clear line there. Somebody that is physically hurting you, that is not self-projection. It's not even in the category. Self-projection has to do with emotions of what you're feeling towards something. I'll give you guys another example, and I posted this video yesterday. Go into a room with a baby, okay? Just a little baby. I went to the park with my friend, a couple of people, and there was a baby there. And the baby was going... And my friend goes, oh my God, look, she's so flirty. Okay. The other friend went, oh my God, she's so cute with her little eyes like this. And I looked at her and I go, wow, that baby looks so happy. Flirty, cute, happy. We all had 3 different self-projections. What I felt in my mind in that day, I was feeling happy. So I projected it onto a baby. Because we don't know what babies are feeling. We have no idea what babies are feeling. So I was obviously self-projecting that I was seeing the baby happy. My friend, who is, might I say, very flirty, she says it about herself. She's very open about her flirtiness. She said, oh that baby's so flirty. Now, obviously, babies are not flirty. She's like, look, she's making little flirty eyes. That's self-projection. Hi, Megan. Yes, mini clock. I agree. So the same thing applies to animals. If you're not around a baby, go around an animal. Okay? Go around an animal. User 58, I saw your comment too on the video. After watching your video, I noticed it. We all do it. Okay? So go into a room with a dog. Now, it's really funny because we have like 1 million dogs at my house. Super exaggerated, but we have 4 dogs. Okay? 3. We had 4 today, but we have 3 dogs. But my cat is a dog dressed up in a cat, but whatever. And one of my dogs, we were a bunch of people today, and we kept looking at this new dog that came in today to like play around with our dogs. And every single person had a different perception of this dog. Everybody had a different perception. They're like, oh my God, that dog is so hyper. My boyfriend is very hyper. And he said, oh my God, that dog is so hyper, so hyper, so hyper. And then the other person said, oh my God, that dog is so clingy, like super clingy. He won't stop clinging. Like that's what they noticed in the dog. Like everybody noticed something differently. So remember, it's not when you see a zebra, you're a zebra. When you see a narcissist, you're a narcissist. What is it that you feel about a narcissist? It is not how you feel about everyone. It's how you feel about yourself. And I have to tell you, do you know that self-projection is not all? I am controlling, that's all I am. No, it can be like 1%, guys. 1%. 1% that you feel about yourself, but it's in you. You cannot see in another what you do not possess. So when I talked about Teal Swan and I talked about that, and people were like, you're projecting. Yeah. I'm projecting all day, every day. Right now I'm projecting. I am constantly a fucking walking projector. All the time. And so are all of you. And I have to tell you, it is amazing. You get to know who people are, how they feel about their lives and how they project. But when people tell me, oh no, I could see their shadows, and everybody, do you know how many comments I got on that video? Okay, so hold on. Let me address it. So JJ wrote, wow, you are very wise. JJ, you are very wise. That is a self-projection. Okay. Now I'm going to go right into this. So somebody wrote, JJ wrote, wow, you are very wise. A part of her in her subconscious is very wise because she wouldn't be able to see that in me. Okay. Some people are looking at me now and going, wow, she's so hyper. Some people are looking at me and going, oh my God, she's annoying. She can't stop talking. Some people are switch. So no matter what you guys are feeling about me, that is a part that you feel about yourself. Now, hold on. Let me go deeper. So somebody, let's say JJ says, wow, you're so wise, right? And then I tell her, you're so wise. You just projected that onto me. And she's like, no, I don't feel wise. That doesn't matter. In your subconscious, because our mind is like 5 to 10% conscious, and we live mostly in the subconscious hidden aspects. Passionate. So I am, by the way, everything you guys say about me, I am. And I'm also not. Do you understand? Hugs to you too, Mistress. So this is why everything that you're feeling about me today. And now somebody wrote to me, no, I'm going to laugh because I have to address this. Somebody wrote to me last week, Tanya, your chin is so swollen. It's your chin and your neck is swollen. I notice it on all your videos. You might have a thyroid problem. You have an inflated neck. And I kind of laughed at that because I know about self-projection. So that has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. And the reason I laughed is because I love my shadow. I used to, a long time ago, be very insecure about my neck and my chin. In our family, we have this. That's what we have in our family. Especially, COVID happened and a couple of more French fries, right? So we get a little neck and thing. It has nothing to do with my thyroid. So I used to be insecure, but because I learned to love my shadow, physical, my emotional shadow, my spiritual shadow, I don't get triggered anymore when somebody says something about me. They're like, hey, you have an inflated neck. And now I laugh because I was like, oh my God, she must hate her own neck. She must be very insecure about her own neck, herself. And now that's all she can see in everyone. Like all she sees in other people are like the people who have like inflated necks. Just saying. I love you too. If someone projects a, so it's all about the feeling, self-projection. I have 5 cameras on. So see, there's a part of us, if you don't see it in me, then you don't really feel it about yourself. Okay? Exactly. Stevie wrote, there's always 3 fingers. Like I said before, guys, with my little Band-Aid finger, there's always 3 fingers. So whatever you feel. Now remember, self-projection is not what you are. It's what you feel about yourself. And people are super confused. So because I'm a walking projector, and so are you, do you know how easy it is to not take anything personal from you guys? And by the way, I'm going to start the meditation at 8:05 instead of 8, just because I have some family here and they're leaving at 8, and I don't want them to disrupt the meditation. So I'm going to start it at 8:05, okay? Just reminding you guys. So I think I answered everything about self-projection. And that's why I was saying it's easy for me to not take anything personal anymore. And if I get triggered, if somebody writes something to me, like, okay, I'll give you an example. Did you guys see the comment? I think Wallow blocked the person. If somebody said to me, you give me Teal Swan vibes, and that's not a compliment, right? You guys, I don't know if some of you guys saw that. You give me Teal Swan vibes, that's not a compliment. To them, it's not. To that, okay, so the person on their phone saying, you give me Teal Swan vibes, that's not a compliment. To them, it's not a compliment. To me, it is. Number 1, she's beautiful. Number 2, she's lived hell and she survived her hell. Number 3, she's helped a lot of people. Like, I see a lot of good, I'm like, thank you. So I didn't take it as a negative thing, right? Okay, so Cece, thank you, Cece, because yeah, some people, so if you guys, oh yeah, okay, it was Cece, good job guys, my moderators. But at the same time, so on another hand, just because people are mean to me, now some people think that because I know everybody's projecting constantly, and I am too, it's hard at first. Can I tell you the reason why people, I am starting a meditation. So for you guys who want, I'm going to be talking in about 5 minutes about a meditation. So I'll address all that. So could you fit this in with being an empath? What if someone is truly absorbing? Okay. So, party, did I get that right? So this 100% fits in with an empath. So my daughter is an empath. Since she was little, we would go to a shopping center, or she would spend the day at school, and she would come back and cry for 10 minutes. And she was like 5, 6, 7 years old. We'd go to like a shopping center and she's like, and she was always like affected by sounds and things like high, more than I was. And because my daughter, and she still gets kind of affected, but because my daughter, I have taught her about self-projection. Self-projection is hard to accept, but when you start accepting it, you develop like an invisibility cloak, or I call it a plexiglass. I don't know why I called it that. That's how I see it, like a glass over you. And you don't get affected by people anymore. You don't, because everybody's self-projecting. And so are you. So when you see people are acting a certain way, they're all projecting. And then again, I'm going to trigger some people. If you walk into a room and you're like, everybody's really negative, I feel like a lot of people are negative here, you are self-projecting. A part of you is negative. Otherwise, you wouldn't be projecting that. If you walk into the room and all you see is negativity, a part of you connected to that negativity. That means a part of you feels negative about you. So instead of getting mad at everybody, oh my God, there's so much negativity, or you're so negative, you're like this, you're like that, and here you are judging people and all based on your own projections. Do you know how happy I am when I walk and I get triggered? I'm like, oh, another thing that I need to work on for my shadow. Another thing that I need to, okay, I self-projected. Oh, where did that? When I had the dream about Teal Swan, I was like, that definitely is self-projection. What am I feeling in myself? Am I not owning my shit? And because I think Teal Swan's not owning her shit. So a part of me is not owning my shit. Damn it, Tanya, damn it. And I always do that. This is what I walk around going, damn it, Tanya. Thank you, chocolate. And I'm constantly living like this. Damn it, Tanya. All right, shit, I got to own my projections. Do you know how empowering? Nobody can break me unless I allow them to. Now remember, if somebody comes up to you and is physically hurting you, that is not self-projection. Okay? When I am drained by the energy of others. Laura, if we get drained by the energy of others is because you haven't yet learned. Now, I'm going to say this very clearly. If other people drain your energy, it's because you haven't yet learned how to strengthen your inner energy. Because if you have a strong core heart energy coming from your heart a lot, strong, people can't drain your energy. They can't. Your energy is more powerful. You have more of an inner sense of strength. Now, some people are like, I can't. I just get drained. Okay. So I used to think like that, and I realized I was being a victim. I was being a victim to myself. Oh, everybody drains my energy. I'm like, now what? Okay, people drain my energy. Now what? That is my answer for everything. Now what? Okay, my parents fucked me up. Now what? This happened to me. Now what? Do I want to stay in that sense and like, yes, I'm going to start the meditation in 2 minutes. I think I hear them in the thing. Hi, Abby. So how do you strengthen your energy? Self-projection. But the biggest thing, can I tell you guys, for me, the way that I strengthen my energy is not high vibration. It's not. I know a lot of people, oh my God, high vibration all the time. It is not that is not. I know people get upset when I say this. Me, it's the love vibration. Love. I love myself in high vibration, because who doesn't love high vibration, right? The happy, the exciting, the music, all that. I love but I also love myself on my low vibration. When I'm sad, when I'm angry, when I'm triggered, when I said something and I felt guilty because I shouldn't have said that, and this and all that. Every time that I'm not that perfect high vibration, I give myself love. Every time I fuck up in my life, every time like something I do and I'm like, oh, okay. Every time, hi Isa, how are you? Like today, I was a bit low vibration. Today I was very low vibration, and I went for a walk outside. And even though low vibration, walk outside, some people, when they're sad or upset or angry or whatever, they try to raise their frequency. Yes, I try to raise it. I try to raise my frequency, but to hear, not to hear, that's hard. To go from sad to high frequency, dude, that is too hard. That is too hard. I'm sorry. And I love this love frequency, because high frequency is connecting to the divine, to spirituality, to other dimensional, connecting your consciousness to the unified field, raising, like it's everything, healing your body, all that stuff. Low frequency is also healing your body. Okay. You also heal when you're on the earth, because the earth is 7.4 hertz, by the way. That's low frequency. So the earth heals us, right? Nature heals us. Sadness heals us. You know that when you have a good cry, you feel good. Anger. Ooh, anger doesn't heal. Yes, it does. Anger can heal. But if you stay balanced and you love yourself when you're angry, you're not. I used to be explosive anger. Like through my teen years, even in my early 20s, attack. And I used to say, oh, it's my sign. I'm a dog. They're not gone yet. I'm starting the meditation very soon. Yeah. Okay. So, what was I going to say? What was I saying? Lost train of thought. Yeah. So I was saying I was a dog. I was, my astrology sign is a dog. And I used to be like, oh, you come at me and I will bite you back. Like, whew. And I'm like, that's not good. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to feel like that. Right. So I said, I'm going to love myself. I'm going to be on the love frequency. Come here. Come on. Sorry, guys. I got a little dog roaming around. So I said, I'm going to be on the love frequency. I love myself and high. And that's how you strengthen your energy. Okay, so I just talked about it for like 10 minutes. Give me a second, guys. Come on. Come here. Come. Come on. My little guy. My little guy, he's deaf. So he's like roaming around the room. Come on. Okay, so I'm going to find a meditation. We're going to start a meditation. I don't even know what to meditate. Yeah, the dog is loyal. Definitely. I was just talking about that today too. So what could you ask? I woke up at 3 a.m. My aura was vibrating. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't know if that happened. Sarah, I don't know if you feel that your aura was vibrating or it was your body. Like every part of your body is like bzzz, like vibrating. That happens to me. Love meditation. Squishy Bob is not joining us today. So we're going to start okay, let me find this music. And I'm going to record this. So for those who are missing, do you guys think a love meditation? How about a meditation for empaths on how to strengthen your energy? Let's do that. Do you guys want to do that? Like, I think everybody, even I need that from time to time. Like especially now, COVID's over, we're going out and about and we're seeing people that we haven't seen in a long time. And we're like, oh my God, they're triggering me. And everybody's kind of triggering us and we don't want to see people anymore. And I have an event coming up soon and I have to see people from my high school. And I'm like, ugh. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good healing session now that. So how about not just empaths. If you are someone that gets affected or triggered by other people and you have a hard time owning that energy, then now I can't promise you 100% perfect meditation because my dog seems to be struggling right now. I don't know what's going on. And he's doing these little, I think something's worrying him and he's making these little sounds. So if that triggers you, then, okay. There was a nice song that I heard that I was listening to and I felt like, I think it's this one. No, that's not it. There was a beautiful meditation. I think it's this one. Yeah. So, well, you know what I mean. I didn't mean COVID's over, but you know what I meant. I mean, a lot of things are opening up right now. So it's not like complete lockdown. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset anybody. Can I block my puppy out? No, so what we're going to do today, if anything is around you loud, so if you have kids running around you, dogs squeaking, sounds banging, by the way, 100%. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That's why you should care. So if you have anything that's bothering you, we're going to tap into that because the key when you're an empath, people think that you just have to block everything and it's not. You have to train your brain to go beyond the annoyed feeling. Do you know what I mean? When you're annoyed and irritated at things, if you just cut them out, what you're doing is you're doing it like externally. Something's bothering me, so I'm going to cut it out externally. You have to master. Now, you don't have to. This is your choice. But if you can master internally not getting as affected, there is a feather just flying right above my phone. And it's just floating like this. Oh my God, it's like Forrest Gump. What? Where did that come from? Anyway, it's cool stuff happening all the time, all around us. Okay, let's see. I just want to see if it's too loud. Last time I did a meditation and I didn't realize that it was too loud for you guys. All right. So in this meditation, what we're going to do, okay? Here's the thing. In this meditation, we are going to strengthen our energy, which I'm actually going to say this while I record. Give me a second. All right, because I'm recording it. For those of you who, I have my recording thing here. I'm going to record this and upload it on YouTube, and it's Tanya Beauty Coach. If you guys want to follow, I give full of free meditations that are recorded on there. All right, so in this meditation, we're going to be going into our own energy, strengthening it, and as within, so without. So we won't be as affected when outside energy or emotions or other people, they won't affect us as much. Okay, so in this meditation, because we are tapping into our own energy and we're going to strengthen the energy, we may get triggered a little bit. So if you're new on meditation, this is going to work for you. If you're a master meditator, this is always good for a little refresh. But I'm going to ask you to sit down in this meditation because sitting down sometimes gets uncomfortable, which is what we want. We're not going to be growing in our comfort zone today. So let's get uncomfortable. Okay? And we're going to grow and strengthen our energy. So sit up straight, close your eyes, now throughout this meditation, I want you by yourself to learn to relax your cheeks, your jaw, your neck, and your shoulders. And remember to slow your breath. So every time you notice yourself clenching your jaw, feeling your shoulders a little high, put them down. All the muscles on your face, relax them. And I want you to do this throughout the meditation because sometimes we're going to stay in the silence. In this way, you can remind yourself. And we're going to take this practice after meditating in your daily life. You'll notice that you'll take this with you and you'll be able to relax your jaw, your neck, and your shoulders just during the day when you're stressed. Slow your breath. Now, there's always going to be some outside people, circumstance, noises, anything that bothers you, irritates you, annoys you, maybe even angers you. You'll notice that it affects your emotions and your thoughts. And through our emotions and our thoughts, that will create an energy that will feel depleted and tired. Now in this meditation, we're not going to raise our frequency too high. We're going to find that balance. We're going to vibrate on the frequency of love. So every time you feel an irritation, you think about something, a thought that's bothering you, I'm going to show you how to go into your heart center, your energy center right in the middle of your chest. Slow your breath, relax your neck and your shoulders. Now bring your awareness to your heart. I want you to put your shoulders back just a little bit as you're sitting. And I want you to feel this energy radiating from your heart. Feel the energy from your feet rising above, all the way up to your knees and your legs, from the base of your spine all the way up to your heart. Now, if you feel anything bothering you, sounds, noises around me or around you, bring your awareness back to your heart. Now I want you to feel the energy at the top of your head. Feel it going down your head, down your eyes, your cheeks, your ears, down your mouth, your neck, your shoulders, down your arms. But feel it all around your arms and your chest. We're going to go back to the energy in the heart. Now, whether you're irritated, angry at someone, anything that's happening to you that is in a very low frequency, you're going to raise that frequency right up to your heart. Feel it raising. Now we're going to stay in the silence. Feel it in your heart. Stay with me. Bring your awareness to your heart. It's so easy to love ourselves when we're happy and everything is going well. And it could be a little bit harder to love ourselves when we snap and we get angry, when relationships don't work out, when somebody leaves our life, when we're feeling sad or upset. But this is the most important time to love ourselves. Now, if you feel that some healing needs to be done before you bring that awareness to your heart, I want you to repeat after me. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Now we're going to say this again, but I want you to say it to you. Say it to your child self, even to your future self, but most importantly to the person that you are today. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Now bring all that energy into your heart. Remember to relax your jaw, your neck, and your shoulders. Bring that energy to your heart. Strengthen that energy within you. Feel that light glowing from your heart into your arms, up to your head, all the way down your stomach, down your hips, down your legs, to your feet, all around you and inside of you, centering in the heart. This is your energy, and you can decide who enters it and who doesn't. And you feel depleted, you feel sad, you feel affected by others, you go back to your heart. That is where your energy lies. Now let's stay in the silence, slow your breath, and be with you. Now, if you have any thoughts or emotions that come up, it's okay. Take those thoughts and emotions and put them in your heart. Feel the love shining on them. You are worthy of love. You deserve the love that you've been giving to everyone else. Bring that love back to you, back to your heart. Let the frequency of your heart shine through your body. Strengthen your energy. The healing energy of the heart, let it radiate through your body. Learning to love all of you, not just the good. All of you. You deserve that love. Now let's heal from what made you think that that love was not worthy. You were not worthy of that love. When you felt sad or angry, let's bring that love to you. Bring it back to your heart. Feel it in your stomach, all the way up to your heart. Feel it rising to your heart. Slow your breath. Now, sometimes it can be hard to sit for a while. We start to notice pain in our body, irritation in our mind, something telling us to get up. We have things to do. It almost seems harder to sit down, but you deserve it. You deserve to sit down with you. Overcome that uncomfortable feeling of wanting to stop. This is overcoming your mind and centering yourself back to your consciousness and your heart, knowing that you deserve that attention. You deserve that time, that love, and that energy. Now, if you can, place your palms to the sky, resting on your legs, palms facing up. And that love that you're feeling in your heart, I want you to feel it down your arms into your hands. Feel it building in your hands. You have the ability. You have the ability to heal yourself, to love yourself. You can follow your heart. Now take that energy from your hands and place it on your heart. That is your energy. That is the love that you deserve. Relax your hands, and we're going to sit for a little bit longer, and you may notice yourself getting a little more and more uncomfortable. And if you are, you can place a pillow and get a little more comfortable, or even if you can lie down. But let's stay in this uncomfortability. Let's see if you can go beyond your mind. Slow your breath. Stay with me. Remember, relax your jaw, your neck, and your shoulders. Now bring your awareness to the top of your head. Slowly relax your head. Feel the energy going down your head, down your cheeks, down your jaw, down your neck, down your arms. Feel yourself getting heavier and heavier, down your spine, your chest, on your back, and down your stomach as well, down to your hips. Feel the energy going down your legs to your knees, all the way down to your feet, and slowly wiggle your toes, very slowly. With your eyes closed, move your head side to side. And if you can, slowly move your spine very gently, almost like you're swaying side to side. You're going to feel that energy in your body. That is your energy. You can access it anytime you want, just by bringing your awareness back to your heart center. Slowly move your hands. Take a deep breath in, expand your belly. And as you exhale, relax. And whenever you're ready, take your time. Very, very slowly, open your eyes. Now, if you can, I want you to place your feet on the floor. Wiggle your toes on the floor. We're going to ground ourselves. Because remember, we are spiritual beings living a human experience, and the human experience is here on earth. So if you can, drink some water. Put some water on your face, wash your hands. Anything that will be grounding. Welcome back. Guys, you know how long the meditation is? 22 minutes and 22 seconds. 22 minutes and 22 seconds. Wow. So if you guys cried, yes, I'm also going to drink water. I felt a little, not delusional, but I felt a little all over the place. I'm just going to put a little bit of some grounding music. There you go. You felt the energy move through you. That's amazing. I felt a lot of emotions. That's amazing. So, oh, thank you, Cece. I felt that. I felt, at first I didn't feel like I was just kind of talking. And then I tried to open my eyes a couple of times and I was like, oh my God, I'm like stuck. Like I was stuck in this meditation. It was really strange, but it was cool. Usually that happens to me when I meditate by myself, not usually when I do it on the live. So if you guys want, I'm going to upload this meditation to YouTube. Again, thank you, Wilo. My YouTube channel is TanyaBeautyCoach. So healing. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Mary. Connecting to yourself. TJ Talk. I appreciate that. Thank you. Bienvenue, Nikki. Mindy, Mama, I'm sending so much love your way. Lots of love. Take a breath. It's so hard. And when we're stressed out and we're feeling, just place your hand on your heart. Couldn't open my eyes when you either, right? I cried so bad. Saw me as a kid. Oh, Marlene, that is some good healing. So when you do a meditation and you see yourself as a child, that is some massive inner child healing, like reparenting. You become the best friend that you wish you had when you were young. Thank you, Angel Star. So, when we're young and like sometimes we felt alone and we were in that moment. Thank you so much, Angel. So we're like super stuck in that moment and we don't feel good. And then all of a sudden we're older and, we felt so alone when we were kids, or sometimes our parents didn't know how to treat us. So when we do these meditations and then we go back kind of like in the past and we see ourselves, we are now the person that we wish we had. So we've become we've become the parent that we wish we had, right? So we have to treat ourselves that way. And again, Syrian, I believe. So, this is a good question. Somebody said, are you Pleiadian? So I got a couple of signs throughout my meditations that you are from Sirius. I was getting weird stuff throughout my meditations. Now this is my opinion. I'm going to give my opinion. Okay. I could be wrong, but I believe that everybody is a starseed. Everybody. And there are some people who say, no, only 1% of the population is a starseed. That is another way to say that some people are special and you're not. So I have had clients say to me, or friends say to me, oh, I'm not a starseed. Like they think that they're like, no. I'm going to explain to you. Starseeds, if you guys are not familiar with it, starseeds are, okay, scientifically, we come from the stars. Scientifically, we have stardust. We are made of stardust, and apparently bananas, but that's a whole other story, and cucumbers, and we have the same DNA. Yeah. But anyway, going into that, we have stardust within us. So just leave it at that. So that science being said, every single human being is the same. We all poop, we all pee, and for those who don't, it's because they have medical issues. Okay. We all have the same stuff. We all can pass on. We do not live forever. Everybody is the same. Some people are more successful with money. Some people tap into their things with spirituality, like when they're young. Some people are born into money. Some people find it later on. Some people have no health. Some people are born without health. Some people never go to the hospital. They get a cold like once in their life. Some people, like everybody's different experiences, but in the end, we are all the same. And when people tell me there's only 1% of starseeds, I seriously don't believe that. I believe that everybody is a starseed and everybody can tap into it. Everybody can, all the time. You can tap into who you are, and you don't even have to label it as, are you Pleiadian? Are you a Syrian? Are you a this? Are you a that? Because again, that's creating like a separation. Oh, Pleiadians group together, Syrians, because what if it's not true? Now, I've gotten messages. I don't really talk about this because I have a lot of like religious people that are in my family that follow me, and I respect religion. I do. I think that sometimes religion can come in the way. Now, I don't think religion is bad. I think people are bad. I don't think spirituality is bad. I think people are bad. If you have a really bitter, mean person that's religious, it's not the religion that's that bad. It's the people that are using the religion as bad. Internet is not bad, but people using the internet are good or bad. Do you understand? So believing in God and Jesus and Mary or Allah or whatever, Shiva and Ganesha, whatever you guys want to believe in, you can believe in whatever you want to believe. But if you start being mean to other people because that's not depiction of the religion. That's depicting the person, right? So people are trying to condemn, but I believe what's happening is people start dividing and start arguing. And now we're a spiritual community saying, hey, are you Syrian? Are you Pleiadian? And it's great because, like I said, I have had information and stuff like that. But in the end, it doesn't matter what starseed or what I am. Do you understand? Someone said that religion is what turned them into that. I don't think so. Think about it this way. I'll give you an example. I had some religious trauma when I was young. Religion didn't turn me into that. I had a family that was like almost so religious that they made me feel shitty. But it was them. Their parents taught them that. It was the people. It was the people. So we can say religions have been altered. Exactly. Right? So I have had people say, I have a cousin who is very extremely religious. Very. And she is one of my closest friends. And she is really, really like God and Mary and Jesus. And the way she talks is extremely religious. But she never, ever, ever pushes me. She knows I meditate. She knows I believe in, CE5 meditations. And I'm like the universal consciousness of the energy of this unified field. And she knows I'm like that. I don't put it on her. She doesn't put it on me. And we have a great connection. Now, other family members are like condemning me and believe that I'm like, devil worshiping because I meditate. I'm accessing the devil and things like that. Now that's not her. That's not religion. That's just the people. So I believe I know some people don't believe that, but I believe hurt people. And some people heal the hurt and then they stop hurting people. Some people don't. So if you've healed the hurt, you don't hurt people. But if you haven't healed, unhealed, hurt people. That's a better way of saying it. Instead of saying hurt people. Unhealed hurt people, whatever. Anyway. I bet you want to just say it's inside, you look inside. Yes, I do. So Trevor, it is, I do have thoughts, right? I'm a human being and I'm like, oh man, it's all inside of you. We can find the answers inside. But listen, I have friends and family that are very, very spiritual. They are not religious. They are like all into the things that I'm into. So I had a couple of friends that are into they love doing tarot cards and love doing this and that. And they still believe that it's like, oh, you got to only be on high vibration. And then to me, I'm like, okay, that's like saying like you got to believe in God and you can't be low vibration because that's bad. But low vibration is kind of saying like religion accessing the devil. And it's always like fighting. And amongst the spiritual community, people are fighting. You're a starseed. No, you're not a starseed. You're a starseed. And I'm like, oh my God, we're fighting in everything. So I know that it's not common what I'm saying. Oh, I like that. If you don't repair, you repeat. I like that one. So I truly believe that if, to me, that saying live and let live, it's a very simple saying, but that's what my thing is. You live and you let others live. Even if you think it's fucked up what they're doing. All you can do is just live your truth and your stuff. But if you start putting it on others and saying other people are wrong, that's the problem. So somebody mentioned, okay, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed this. While we were meditating, somebody wrote, the New World Order is coming. Did you guys see that? Somebody wrote I forgot what they wrote. Something like the New World Order is in effect, blah, blah, blah. So the New World Order has been in effect since forever. For those of you who are not familiar with the New World Order, don't Google it. And the reason I say don't Google it is because you go down a rabbit hole and you end up living in fear. You go and that's what they want. Whatever creates division and fear and anger. I have a really good friend of mine who I don't speak to anymore because that person, the person and I went into the red pill, the matrix, the world or whatever many years ago. And that person stayed there. That person didn't say, hey, what can I do to help this world? This person stayed there, stayed in this, no, the world, the government. And I'm like, that's still anger and fear. It's no longer anger and fear of other stuff. You're still so angry. And now you're and I realized that's what they want. They love conspiracy theories. They love theorists or whatever. They love that. Anything that will make you angry at everybody, at the government, at this, and you're angry and it does stink. I agree. It does. It sucks because the great part, and can I tell you something? Connecting with the divine feminine. Now, even if you're non-binary, or if you are a masculine energy here, okay, or a male or whatever, okay, if you connect with the divine feminine within you, and it doesn't mean for those masculine guys who are like, I don't want to be feminine. That doesn't mean that. It's just connecting with the softness, the divine feminine in us, okay? When we connect with that, whether you are any gender, you notice that nurturing becomes your number one thing, because the feminine has a lot to do with nurturing. So you now want to like plant seeds and nurture your body and eat healthier foods and nurture others and nurture yourself. And it becomes no longer about the fear and the logic and this is the logic and that. You're connecting, right? It's still 50-50 as for me. Well, listen, so let's say you're a man. So I'll give you guys an example. So my boyfriend's very masculine, and he prides himself in his masculinity. He's an extremely masculine guy, but he is extremely nurturing. And he says it. He goes, I notice that when I'm nurturing, and it's, let's say he's taking care of the dog and he's like, oh, it's a little baby, you know, like to the dog, or he gets this nurturing towards me. He's like, okay, I'm cooking for you tonight for the next week. I'm going to take care of you. And he starts getting nurturing. What I notice is that when he's in that state, he's less worried about like TV and what's going on in the world. Because do you ever notice like a mother who has a baby, when you have a baby, you start forgetting, you know, the baby brain, you're like, I don't know what's going on in the world. All I know what's going on is with me and my baby. But the good part about that is that a mother with their baby, they're living in the now because they're nurturing the baby, right? So if we nurture ourselves, we connect to that feminine quality in us and we go in and nurture ourselves, you'll notice you'll be less in the fear of the world and the governments and the military and then what are they doing, and you know what I mean? The universe showed me so much in the past month. Any suggestions on strengthening my abilities? Meditation. So anybody who asks me that, listen, the only reason I'm saying this is that it may not be for you, but for me, Corey, I noticed that when I started meditating consistently every day, for me, all my abilities came out. Like, and I don't even share with you guys everything because maybe I will eventually, but there's a lot that I don't want to talk about because they're like my things that I've been experiencing. And like, I'm connecting with people that have passed. Like, I never had abilities. Never. I remember I told you guys on the live, I'm sure you guys are seeing my evolution, right? You guys are seeing my evolution. A lot of you that follow me that were like, you know, it's whatever. And I'm like, I'm getting these messages and I'm like, I call my mom. I'm like, my grandmother says, I love you. And she's like, oh my God, I was just thinking of her. Like it's just wild what I'm feeling and all these things. And I realize that everybody has them. Everybody has them. You all have them. And I really want to drill that in your brain because I used to believe that I didn't have them and I was never going to have them. See, Cece just wrote that. I can totally relate. It's so true. When you start to meditate more consistently, shit starts to happen to you. It's insane. Yes, we're all the same and we're all different, right? But we're all the same in the core. But the only thing is some people, I'll give you an example of money-wise. Some people are born into money and some people can become millionaires, right? You see those people on TV. They're like, I was homeless like 4 years ago. Where there's a Tiffany Haddish. I just remember her saying, I was living in a car. And I was living in my car and then I was homeless. And now she's like multi-millionaire making movies. I just remember hearing her saying that some people are born with it. Some people get it. The difference between both is how much you want it and how much you believe you want it. And the same thing applies to spiritual abilities. But I think it's way cooler than money. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, listen, whoever is here and wants money, that is your life journey. I am not judging that, because I have a lot of friends that are really like money, money, money. And that's okay. Sometimes I find myself judgy McJudgersoning them, but I'm like, that's their experience and that's okay. For me, the fact that I can tap into these abilities and I couldn't. So giving an example, Teal Swan had ability. Teal Swan and Sadhguru and all them, they had abilities when they were young. They can connect with like beings and see things when they were young. And then they had it. So we look at them and we're like, oh, they're so much better than... No, we can. I feel like I'm a billionaire already. Amazing. It was cool to see you on Teal Swan's show. It was surprising. I had no idea I was going to be on there. Oh my God, that's so cool, Trevor. I did something weird. When I miss my grandmother, I hug her house, and every time I start to cry. Oh, that's so cool. See, I have to tell you, most of you guys already know. The ones of you guys are on my live, you already know. We have it. Like, we all have it. That's so cool, Christine. That's so cool. You guys have, see, a lot of you guys are telling me a whole bunch of stuff that you're living. 35 years of being a musician, following your dreams. That's amazing. Oh, okay. So Trevor just wrote ears connected to throat chakra. You were meant to say this because I actually wanted to say something today about that. So I'm going to give you a little, before I let you guys go, I'm going to give you guys a little story time of what happened to me when my daughter was 2. That was a long time ago. Hold on. How old is she now? She's 16 years old. So that gives you she was 2 years old and now she's 16. That gives you an information of how old I am versus whatever. So she was 2 years old and I'm sitting in my, early 20s. Okay. So I'm sitting in my bedroom and I used to hate things that I said. So sometimes I'd talk. When I was angry, I would express myself and I really, I would hurt people. And I remember my friend used to say, oh, you can kill people with your words. And she used to like that about me. And I was like, I don't like that because people end up hating me. You come at me with you're stupid. I'm like, oh yeah, pow. And I would and I was like, oh yeah, well, your mom left you when you were really mean. Oh my God, I was mean, guys. I was so mean. And I remember I would lie in bed at night and I cried. I was so angry at myself because I would if somebody hurt me, man, I knew their shadow. So I'm just letting you guys know. You remember how I said I recognized my shadow? I could see people's shadow and stuff like that. Because I can see everybody's shadow and their deepest, most biggest insecurity. You were the same, Trevor? Okay. So I could see people's biggest insecurities. So when they came at me and they said something to me, I was like, oh, just you don't even have a light and you don't, oh, you're saying this to me? And then, whoo, and they're like, what the fuck? That was I was so mean. And so that was one aspect. I would talk. And when I was getting really passionate, you guys see me, I get really passionate, and I start to talk like that. And people are like, oh my God, be quiet. And then when I was young, anyway, my whole life, throat chakra. Now, funny part is I used to have really bad neck problems. Bad neck problems. Also had to do with my chest size, which is great now. But it was really, really, really bad. I had, now I don't know, I grew up in French school, so I don't know how you say this in English. It was stiff neck there, torticolis. Anyway, so I had a stiff neck. Through my pregnancy, I was pregnant for 7 months. My daughter was born when I was 7 months pregnant. She was 3 pounds, a little baby. I wore a neck brace and I was in the hospital for 6, give or take, out of the 7 months. Okay. And the whole time in the hospital, I had a neck brace because my neck was so stiff all the time, completely so my throat energy or chakra or anything was I hated everything. So fast forward, my daughter's 2 years old. I'm sitting in my bedroom by myself I just found out that my ex was like cheating on me, all this stuff, and he was like fucking nah, nah, and then he left and everything, and it was like a few days in, or maybe like a weekend. I'm not going to be clear on that. It was maybe a couple weeks in, but I remember being sad. And I remember that day I was talking to my daughter's preschool, like I was trying to get her in preschool. And I remember talking and being like, I said something, and then I left a message, and I was like, oh, why did I say that on the answering machine? I was like, you made a message? And I was leaving on the answer machine of the principal, and I remember sitting there going, I can't fucking talk. I hate my voice. My voice is so nasally. Like, I was so mean to myself. So I took a book, and I started writing down everything that I hated about my voice. And I was like, oh my God, why do I hate that I talk too much. I hate this. I hate that. I was saying everything. And then I turned the page, and on the other side, I wrote, I want to love my voice. I want to learn to speak with kind words. I want to learn to listen because I wasn't a good listener. I want to learn to talk softer and not always be so hyper and aggressive. I want to learn. And I was saying, I want that. And I wrote that on the thing. And I remember that. And I remember crying and being like, I hate my voice. And I can't tell you when it happened. But over time, I learned to speak softer, kinder. I learned about channeling in my early 20s again, a few years after. I learned about channeling and talking through my higher self, or I call it my consciousness. I know, excuse me. I know a lot of you guys say higher selves, but I like to say my consciousness. But I learned, because I was talking with ego. I was like, ego, you know? So I learned to talk with centered. So I learned to love my voice and my talking. And I learned about self-projection, all that. And now it's funny because today, I just saw 2 messages from people today on Facebook. And these 2 women, 2 different people wrote to me. Oh, I wish I could show you guys because it's on this phone that I'm on. But it says like, they're both talking about my voice. They said, you have a healing voice, that you've changed my life, da da da. I was in tears on these 2 comments. Like my voice went, my throat went, thank you, Angel. Sorry. So I was like, oh, my throat, my voice, everything. And I was like, oh my God. I need to talk about this. Because I hated my throat. And I was like, I need to work on my throat chakra and Reiki on my throat. And now somebody commented on my neck and I laughed, right? And it's over time. I just learn. I put the intention that I want to learn to speak with kind words. And by the way, our throat chakra, our throat energy is connected with the ears. The throat chakra is connected with the ears. So we think here, and it's all connected, right? We think that talking is one thing, but if you have a hard time listening, that has to do with the throat energy center. So I realized that I was really good at talking and I wasn't so good at listening because I wasn't listening with the intent to understand. I was listening with the intent to respond, to like be in control or be right and I wasn't listening to understand. So now when I sit with people, and now I'm like, oh my God, I'm making videos. I'm using my voice to talk about my truth. I think my dog is freaking out a bit. Do you guys hear him? Hold on a second. Yes, so that's all I did is learn to love. Learn to love. Go do the meditation I was doing today. I'm going to have to let you go because I think my dog is having a little bit of panicky, emotional feelings. I could hear him. He's like freaking out a bit. I think he wants to see my daughter. Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to let you guys go. I've been on for 2 hours, usually go on for a little bit longer, but I'm going to be uploading this video, the meditation that I just did, to YouTube. All right. So I love you guys. I'm sending a lot of love to you guys, and thank you guys for joining this live, and I'll see you. I'm going to come on live this week randomly, but I will see you next Monday, same time, and I'll try to go live a little bit longer next time. Okay, thank you guys for joining me. I love you. And go on my YouTube page for the free meditations. Okay? Love you guys. Have a good night.